The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content and is sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.
We've all heard of the inheritance tax, but what the next generation should worry more about is a very taxing inheritance. This six-pack ring has a life expectancy of 450 years. It takes a disposable diaper about 500 years to biodegrade, and we throw away enough of them every year to reach to the moon and back 7 times. Maybe it's time to start thinking about what's in our environmental will. Hi, I'm Corey James, and this is today's Environment, where we explore the issues affecting our Earth and the solutions taking place to repair them. So what did you throw out today? Most of what we put in our trash can has no business being buried in a landfill. It's not waste, it's just wasteful. Many industries make the same mistake. Let's take a closer look.
Some people look at these drums and see a hazardous waste nightmare. Others look at them and dream of opportunity. And if the world belongs to dreamers, this planet may wake up in a cleaner tomorrow, because research and development teams are now taking a look at what we used to call waste and finding ways to turn it into a resource. Several new technologies have turned some companies' liquid hazardous waste stream into a river of gold. In this activated fluidized bed, or AFB system, developed by Aglo Incorporated and operated under a partnership with Phillip Environmental, hazardous waste can be turned into usable products. By adding heat and an activating agent named Chemix, volatile organic compounds like paint solvents become gaseous and can be vacuumed off, then condensed into a storage tank. The activating agent helps the solvents become gaseous more quickly, and the recovered solvents can be reused or utilized as clean fuel. Chemix also helps the particulate solids bond into an inert substance called granulite, which can be used as a supplementary raw material in the construction industry. Researchers developed another similar process called activated thermochemical technology, or the ATC system, which reacts a reagent with the industrial waste in a high-temperature reactor. The process turns the waste into reusable oil or clean fuels, recyclable metals, and a cellular material that can work as an aggregate in bricks, blocks, concrete, and other applications. An activated subcooling system, or ASC technology, can work with the ATC process and further remove organic and inorganic contaminants from the process gases. By injecting an activating agent and liquid nitrogen into the hot exhaust stream, the rapid cooling enhances the condensation of the volatile substances and allows for a very high removal of recyclable metal particulates.
The Aglo process ideologically is one that says, look, we have to look at waste as a raw material and a resource rather than as just a waste material to be dumped in a landfill site. And Aglo, the Aglo technology and with Phillip as his partner is certainly starting to create that scenario.
The technology for recycling and reuse of industrial byproducts has matured dramatically over the past decade, and cost-effective ways to reprocess waste into raw materials continue to develop through leading-edge technologies. It could be a win-win situation. Waste generators enjoy lower disposal costs, and society benefits from the development of sound environmental solutions for dealing with waste. As everyone's perception of waste changes, new opportunities will arise to take advantage of this potential revenue source. And more advanced developments can be expected in the technology to turn one industry's waste into another's resource.
Every year, America produces 25 million tons of plastic. That's about 10 pounds for every human on Earth. And only 1% gets recycled. We've got to do better than that. Get involved with today's environment today.
Don't pick up hitchhikers. It's good advice for drivers, and an even better guideline for our water supply. Too often, water purified at treatment centers becomes contaminated in the pipes on the way to your tap. Watch this.
There's a war going on. It's humans versus disease. And prevention may prove to be a decisive key to victory. Many weapons in preventing the spread of disease can be described with one word: plastics. Sterile gloves, leak-proof containers, and durable bags can help prevent the spread of infections and disease in a medical or laboratory setting. But now, even in the everyday world, hygienic plastics can be part of the solution to sustain public health and safety. One important way is in the conveyance of drinking water and sewage. Under normal soil and water conditions, plastic pipe remains inert. That means the materials in the plumbing system will not react with acids, fungi, or bacteria in the surrounding soil or the water passing through. This reaction, or corrosion, often eats away at metal and other types of pipe, and a leak can allow contaminants to invade the drinking water from the outside while it's on the way to your tap. In the drainage system, it may allow unwanted bacteria and viruses to escape into the environment. Even if a metal pipe does not leak, it can leach traces of heavy metals like lead into what you might drink.
Many members of the plastics industry see the safe conveyance of potable water and sewage as an important environmental use for their product, and they belong to the Plastic Pipe and Fittings Association to help address the related issues.
Although plastic comes from energy-related byproducts, the manufacturing process normally consumes fewer BTUs than alternate materials for equal lengths of pipe and fittings. Plastic manufacturing facilities do not release the variety of chemicals and compounds into the air that traditional pipe manufacturers do. The EPA does not even require them to file the related reports. Members of the Plastic Pipe and Fittings Association gain third-party certifications for health, safety, and performance. These provide independent verification against stringent standards that plastic pipes, fittings, cements, resins, and other related products can convey water without adding contaminants that could compromise its quality. Now, getting contaminants out of the drinking water and keeping them out is a huge environmental challenge these days. Plastic pipe and fittings can help. Simply put, under normal use conditions, they hold in whatever is going through them, and they keep out anything that's surrounding them. Traveling from the treatment center to the tap, it's vital that our clean drinking water doesn't pick up any unwanted hitchhikers. And from the drain to disposal, nothing should escape along the way.
If plastic pipes can help meet this challenge, well, then these free-flowing arteries might lead straight to the heart of a healthy planet. Do you ever have someone tell you to leave a paper trail? Well, all those trails have become a major highway that leads straight to an overstuffed landfill. The documents we generate every day add up to a solid waste problem. But there are solutions, and this may be one of them.
Hard copy. Put it in writing. The dream of the paperless office at best is a distant fantasy. Businesses and individuals today simply can't operate without printing the output from their computer files. Computers and laser printers may make creating documents easier, but this technology inflicts a significant strain on the environment. American businesses consume enough paper to build a 12-foot wall from Harlem to Hollywood. And the average laser printer gobbles about 4 toner cartridges every year. Multiply that number by the over 15 million laser printers in service, and the solid waste challenge becomes very clear. Many companies now practice paper recycling, and the trend continues to grow. But laser toner cartridge recycling is a relatively new phenomenon. It may be hard to believe, but the plastic and metal from these cartridges account for over 24,000 tons or 6 million cubic feet of solid waste every year. Fortunately, a new industry that remanufactures these cartridges is catching on. This facility in Salt Lake City, Utah, operated by Associated Business Products, an Alco Standard company, specializes in recycling spent laser toner cartridges. The most common of these contain an engine made of plastic and metal parts and a photosensitive drum. Most of these parts are non-biodegradable, but the good news is that they can be reused time and time again. A coordinated effort with consumers and wholesalers can collect the spent cartridges and bring them to a remanufacturing facility. The cartridges then are disassembled and cleaned, ready for remanufacturing. From those parts, a new cartridge is rebuilt, refilled, and resealed using as much of the original components as possible. In this facility, every cartridge goes through a quality control check to make sure the recycled cartridge can perform as well or better than a new one. And a 1-year warranty from Associated Business Products helps erase any reservations the end user may have about buying a recycled product. Even the packaging materials can be reused or recycled. Ziploc bags, packing styrofoam, and corrugated boxes are often diverted from the waste stream and used again. Even in this age of internets and electronic superhighways, the printed word still rules. But if we can recycle the materials we use for our documents, we can help spare the earth.
How about some good news? By recycling aluminum cans, in 1 year, Americans saved enough energy to power all the homes in New York City for 6 months. Keep up the good work, recycle, and get involved with today's environment today.
Dankeschön. Merci. Gracias. In any language, there's few words more powerful than the expression that means thank you. Awards and medals may be one way to recognize and thank people while they inspire others to new heights. This might be a good example.
And the winner is Planet Earth. In today's world, many individuals and organizations work long and hard to protect and enhance our renewable natural resources. Effective conservation requires the ability to organize, build consensus, and develop long-term solutions to environmental problems. And when citizen volunteers, professional conservationists, non-profit organizations, and public agencies reach these goals, we all share the benefit of a better planet. Too often, though, such accomplishments go unheralded. Fortunately, every year since 1954, some very notable ones have been recognized with the Chevron Times Mirror Magazine's Conservation Award.
During the last 40 years, more than 850 recipients have won the recognition they deserve for their environmental efforts. This year again, 5 volunteers, 5 professionals, and 5 organizations have been added to this distinguished list of conservation crusaders.
The projects range across areas as diverse as their creators. Few people would expect a group made up of more than 50 at-risk kids in St. Louis's inner city to be crusaders for an at-risk planet, but the Dolphin Defenders are just that. This non-profit organization of 8 to 12-year-old environmentalists, led by Neil Andre, converted a squalid, trashed-out vacant lot, thick with drug dealers and abusers, into a pristine wildlife habitat, now known, quite aptly, as the Promised Land.
I learned how to recycle, how to take care of the earth.
What we do, pick up trash and collect money, raise money, and help people.
I think people should be Dolphin Defenders because they not only clean up, but they have fun too.
In another promised land, many miles from downtown St. Louis, one citizen volunteer, Nancy Russell, battled to preserve the breathtaking beauty of the Columbia River Gorge. Her epic 15-year effort to prevent urban sprawl from invading the vistas of this historic wilderness has made her a winner of this year's award. Nancy created and orchestrated a bipartisan support network of industry, government, environmentalists, and citizen volunteers. Her remarkable efforts have virtually guaranteed the preservation of this scenic area for generations to come.
I think it's a great honor to win the award, and I think it's wonderful for companies like Times Mirror and Chevron to be recognizing the work in the area of conservation because it's work that's so important to everybody in this country.
The Conservation Awards program was created by the late Ed Zern, a sportsman, humorist, author, and columnist. The dictionary defines a hero as someone who displays great courage or noble qualities. And history remembers them as champions who took action and changed the world for the better. Only 15 heroes will receive the plaque this year, but because of their efforts, we are all winners. Today's Environment congratulates the 1995 Chevron Times Mirror Conservation Award honorees.
America's fighting back. Strict regulations to combat air pollution may soon help us breathe easier once again. Now, to comply with these new laws, we'll need to develop better weapons. This next segment features what could be an important step in the right direction.
1 troy ounce of platinum. To an investor, it's more valuable than gold. But to an environmentalist, it may be priceless. This may look like an ordinary rock, but this ore is rich with the precious metal platinum and a related metal, palladium. In catalytic converters and thermal air scrubbers, these metals change harmful gases like carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and oxides of nitrogen into safe gases and water. As stricter clean air regulations proliferate around the world, the environmental demand for these scarce metals grows exponentially. Until recently, nearly all platinum and palladium came from either South Africa or Russia, but a discovery in Montana has given America at least one domestic source. These miners, working for the Stillwater Mining Company, must extract a ton of ore to produce 0.8 of an ounce of platinum group metals. Now, that's what you call a real solid waste challenge. Every day, about 1,000 tons of ore get processed. First, it gets pulverized into fine particles, and then, while suspended in a slurry, the scarce minerals get separated from the host rock. The valuable minerals get dewatered, dried, and shipped away, where the platinum, palladium, rhodium, and other precious metals get extracted after further processing. Before being allowed to mine for these metals, the company spent over 2 years developing the proper plans to ensure that their operation was compatible with maintaining other natural resource values. Dealing with the daily waste of nearly 1,000 tons of tailings from the processing operations posed one major challenge, which was solved by backfilling underground mined-out areas with the coarse sands that could be separated and creating this tailings pond to permanently store the finer particles. A heavy-duty plastic liner prevents the infiltration of process water into the groundwater system, and 11 wells around the downstream flank constantly monitor the groundwater to ensure it is being protected. Wildlife thrives in this isolated area. However, a lungworm disease was affecting the health of the herd. One voluntary project took aim at the infection and has nearly eliminated it. Yellowstone National Park is about 20 miles away as the crow flies. Stillwater Mining Company goes to great lengths to protect the natural productivity and scenic beauty of the land. In fact, nearby, over 40 acres of disturbance was only partially stabilized and reclaimed after closure of an abandoned World War II chromium mine. They voluntarily finished the job. That land is now a rich source of forage for the area's diverse wildlife. Platinum and palladium may be measured by the ounce, but in terms of the environment, they can be considered heavyweight defenders.
Want to help stop global warming? Plant a tree and recycle as much paper as possible. During its lifetime, one Douglas fir can remove 400 tons of carbon dioxide from the air. And the more paper we recycle, the more trees we leave standing. Now here's another idea.
Balance. That describes the natural relationship between animals and plants. The carbon dioxide we breathe out, they breathe in. But the fossil fuel-driven modern society has seriously upset that balance. Automobiles, power plants, and factories emit about 25 billion tons of carbon dioxide annually, which is not a part of the natural process. Some scientists believe that increasing temperatures from the insulating buildup of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases may cause global warming.
If so, the consequences could be serious, but we still have many options to help prevent this. Increasing global tree cover may help reduce the accumulation of CO2 in the atmosphere.
This land near Spokane, Washington, was once a thriving forest, but a cataclysmic fire burnt the trees to the ground. Now, a reforestation project funded by Tenaska Power Partners, an independent power producer based in Omaha, Nebraska, aims to replant 5,000 acres of this devastated area. Eventually, these trees could remove nearly 1 million tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The project responds directly to concerns about global warming, and this voluntary carbon offset plan was included as part of a power purchase agreement between the independent power producer and a public utility.
Since carbon dioxide is truly a global gas, one molecule can be anywhere on the planet in less than 8 days.
Mitigation projects, therefore, need not be close to the source of the release to be effective. A reduction of carbon dioxide anywhere on the planet benefits all of us.
Research has shown that programs like this one can help reduce the accumulation of CO2 in the atmosphere. While the natural gas that powers our new plant is one of the cleanest fuel sources available, this is one more step toward helping to protect our environment.
Every year, all over the world, buzzsaws and bulldozers destroy nearly 51 million acres of tropical forests. Tropical deforestation currently releases about 4 billion tons of CO2 each year. That's roughly 15% of total emissions from human activities. Some experts believe that the increasing temperature resulting from these emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases could create massive flooding and other environmental chaos. TANASCA researchers also identified an area in the Costa Rican rainforest where they initiated a forestry protection project. It will save several thousand acres of trees in one of the most important centers of biodiversity in Central America. When we disrupt the balance of nature by the way we live, we must take steps to regain that equilibrium. Reforestation is one way that can help bring us back in harmony with the planet, because every tree that stretches towards the heavens makes life on Earth a little more glorious.
Many of us have heard the Bible story about Noah and the Great Flood. Well, many experts believe global warming could raise water levels so high that massive flooding could put many cities underwater. The buildup of carbon dioxide responsible for this theory comes primarily from our cars, factories, and power plants that burn fossil fuels for energy. Our choice may be very simple. Either we park our cars and walk a little more, or we better learn to swim. Today we showed you some of the positive things going on to help repair our Earth. Join us again next time as we explore more environmental solutions on today's environment.
If you know of any interesting environmental success stories, call us at 407-997-9800. This has been a presentation of 5-Star Productions USA. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.